Okay, so this is a video for Lisa, who'd noticed a sort of a loose stitch in her knitting that she thought was a dropped stitch, but then when she laddered it back up, it wasn't. So you've got sort of a big run, a couple of rungs of fabric either side. I mean, sorry, I have lost my tripod, so it's really hard to actually shoot these videos at the moment. But you can see here, I've got sort of one there. If I just stretch the knitting out a bit. There we go. You can just sort of see it there. It's probably not garter stitch, it's a little bit squishy. But you see that sort of that rung there. Just in order to create this, I just sort of created a yarn over, knitted it for a couple of rows and then dropped it back down. So if I can position my camera now with the very useful roll of toilet paper, which probably should have started used to begin with, to be honest, but never mind. Okay. Right, so here we go. See, sort of there, just sort of excess fabric. So what you can do is, you see how each sort of stitch follows a line. So you go sort of under, over, under, over, under, over. What the problem is this still follows the same sort of a line, but we've got our over there, we've got our under there, got our over there, that's fine, because this was the row I made the yarn over on. But here we've got our over, we've got our under, but where previously we would have had an over, there's just sort of a lot of extra fabric, extra yarn here in this under. So what we can do is, if we pick up, and I'm using a blunt-ended needle here just because it really helps. What we can do is we can sort of just go underneath and pull up. We pull that one up there, and then we follow this string here. So we've pulled him up to sort of slightly snug up the gap. Because it's garter stitch, as I say, it's fairly hard to see. So then we've got another one, we can just sort of give it a pull there, and just sort of very slowly, sort of as we go, just sort of even out that stitch, just into the edges here. So that a pull, give that a pull, pick that one up, give that one a pull. I mean, what you can do, which could be easier to sort of start off with, is just sort of try and give it a snug up on the needles. So there, you see, so that one's pretty much gone. So then we've got this one to do. So if we just sort of give it a pull there, give that next one a pull, just sort of there, got that big loop. So we want to sort of try and evenly distribute that big loop along as far as we can. I mean, I've just pulled that in one sort of direction. Obviously, you've got two directions to go, so make sure you go the other side and snug that one up a bit, and snug that one up a bit, and snug that one up a bit, and that one up a bit, that one up a bit, just to sort of fairly evenly distribute that sort of excess yarn along the lines. I mean, that one there as well. Some of them, obviously, because it's garter stitch, some of them are going to be on this right hand side of the work with the sort of the pearl bumps, as it would be if it was sort of stockinette, sort of the ridges facing you. So obviously now I've neatened up the ones more or less with the ridges facing me, and it might sort of take a while to get it done, but the other side is still a bit sloppy, so you can just sort of, rather than even it up from the sort of the knitted side, the sort of the flat side, if you pull the fabric open, rather than sort of try to do it from there, which can be sort of more tricky, just turn it over, and then you've got obviously what's like with stockinette, what's one side is the knit stitch and the other side is the pearl bumps. So you've obviously translate that both across. You've got the pearl bumps, and now on this side in those valleys that you need to sort of tighten. So pull that one, pull that one, pull that one, pull that one. And I mean, it's not going to look incredibly even, I've got to admit, but blocking does cure a heck of a lot of sins. But after I sort of finish tightening this one, making sure to obviously go in both directions in order to try and spread it evenly. After you've done that, give it a little tug downwards and a tug sideways. And there we go. You can sort of now hardly ever tell that there was a big sort of a yarn over with a hole sort of in there, and with a good wash and block, because this is 100% wool. This is Jarrell Pure British Wool Aran, just something I had laying around to do a swatch with. But that's going to block, and that's going to block out beautifully. Okay, right, I hope this has been helpful. If not, I'll try and find a tripod and shoot another video rather than having to balance it on some kitchen rolls. Okay. Hope that's been of some sort of help.